Hi, I'm Tom and I talk about code. Welcome back to another Rust+Bevy GameDev live stream. Today, one simple goal, we're integrating LDTK with the game. Now, if you don't know what LDTK is, it's probably a good idea to maybe show that off, right? It's a level editor. It's a good level editor. It's a better level editor than Tiled that I was using before. And, in the past, I was reluctant to integrate too directly with Tiled because I didn't really like Tiled. And now I've got a much better editor that I feel much more excited about using. So I've set up a little system. I can place tiles, I can place entities. A couple of things work a bit differently from last time. I won't get into all the details, but I'm going to try to load this level and then put it in the game. Now you'll notice, an eagle-eyed viewer may notice that there are 3 different exits. And the idea is that we'll have a little bit of uncertainty. We'll have different player starts, different exits, different places you can start and finish these levels. They'll be picked at random. So, I'm currently partway through doing this. I just kind of started yesterday and I've been powering through. Unfortunately, not the most exciting opening to a stream, but I've got a bunch of JSON, it just dumps out levels in these gigantic JSON blobs. All the levels are going to live in one file, which is kind of cool, or at least multiple levels in one file. And this kind of solves some headaches I had with loading levels, so I'm going to try and roll with this. And right now I'm just writing helper functions for picking the data out, and I've hit this point where I'm trying to read my list of entities, so the things that are colored rectangles or these orbs, read these out into some kind of list and decide what I do with them from there. I'm gonna have to filter out some of these things, like the stage exit, the player spawn, and the enemy spawners. They're gonna have to feed into my random generator that I've built, whereas they have to go to slightly different places, right? It's not going to be simple. So we're going to give back a list of these entities, and then whatever layer consumes this is going to work out what to do with them from there. Cool. So there's a few easier things to pass. Really, yeah, I've just got this open on one side. This is the actual level file, and I'm just looking at what's inside of it. So for example, if we have a player start point, all this has is a position X and Y. If we have a spawner, there are things called field instances as well. This is like saying, hey, here's an additional floating point number and an additional piece of data that goes along with this entity. So we're going to have to do some parsing for some of them, but it'll be okay. So where's an exit? Exit just has this position, so that's very simple. Stage, exit, position. Now, I've also forgotten to put the structure name before this, LDTK, entity, and then the orb spawn is also the same. I think it's just called an orb. Orb spawn. These might get randomized at some point as well, but for now we're just gonna put them in a big dumb list. So a spike strip has a bit of data that goes with it. Oops. Which here, spike strip. A spike strip should have extra data that goes with it. So if we look at this other level, I was putting some spikes down, and I actually, these are in the game. I don't think I've shown them off on stream at any point, but these spike strips are in the game that have a variable width. It kind of decides how many times to repeat the sprite based on the width, which is cool. So I've represented that by having adjustable width on this, and I guess we just have to read the width of this and maybe divide it by 16. That sounds good. So let's say, so this should actually be pretty simple as well. LDTK entity spike strip. It has a position, and then we take the entity dot width as usize divided by 16. Right, so it's like the number of repetitions because each tile is 16 pixels wide. And I think we want to round down. That makes sense. Okay, so if it's a spawner, we need to read some extra information. If we look at, if we look at a spawner here, a spawner has a floating point number, which is the challenge. This is just kind of like some magic that represents how, like a challenge is a number from 0 to 1. It represents the current difficulty of the stage. If a spawner has a higher challenge associated with it, it will only appear as the difficulty gets higher, and it will appear with more frequency at that higher difficulty as well. And then there's also, you can say if it's an air spawner or a ground spawner. So we need to read these two pieces of data out. And then the other kind is, so is it spawn, player spawn, enemy spawn, stain energy. That's it. That's literally it, spawn. This is the only one where we have to read this out. So spawn. Spawner. Spawner, not spanner, spawner. Okay, so for identify, yeah. Field instance. Wait, hold on, whoa. I was gonna collapse these into a, I kind of forgot what layer I was operating at here. Field instances.map. That is still what I want. Sorry, I forgot I'd put an extra layer in here. Match entity.identifier. So this is still good. I want to turn this into some kind of hash map. Although, do I? I think I do. I think I want to turn into like a let fields. We want to make it like a hash map string surd JSON value. Right, and so we're going to take each field and we're just going to return the identifier, and the other thing. So it has an identifier, it has identifier, and it has a value, which is a surd JSON value. See, the other thing is, though, it would be good to be able to skip ones that don't have values. Maybe it's just an option. I guess that kind of works, right? And then we panic if it's not. Panic is maybe strong, but we can have some kind of error condition. So I think this is good. Let's just format that nicely. Nice. Okay. So if you're a spawner, we need to get 2 fields from this, and I think they're going to be. Challenge is going to have a value of 16. Then, so this is going to have a float type, and this is going to have a string type. And I think that's fine. So we're going to say let challenge equal fields dot get challenge. Now, here's the other thing. See, like, can we skip a thing with collect? Sorry, again, this font's smaller than usual. I can probably change this over soon. It's just because I'm dealing with this gigantic JSON file. I don't want to have my bigger font yet. I'll swap back to a sensible terminal soon. I really want to be able to not insert things that don't have a value. So as much as I want to stick to the functional style, I think what I need to say is fields make a new hash map then for each field instance, if fi.value.isSum, so we'll unwrap the optional part. Sum x equals, see, if let's always better. It's a cool pattern to have. fi.value, then we want to say fields.insert. I'm probably going to have to copy this string. This is probably a compiler error, but we'll work it out. So now we have this hash map that only has fields that have values. Right now, I don't care if there's a field that has a none value. That is not significant to me. I think that makes sense. Okay, so now I'm just going to double check the return type, but I'm pretty sure get returns an option. Of course it does. So we will unwrap this. We will unwrap it to get a float. Now also assert JSON value. I expect this will have some kind of helper as F64 returns. Okay, this is perfect. So we unwrap this, and then we're gonna double unwrap. We're gonna have two unwraps in a single line, which always feels dicey. As F64. Sadly not as F32, but that's okay. Unwrap again. We might have to put a little star here, but we won't do that right now. Let kind equal field, kind name equal fields, get kind unwrap as string as stir. Oh, it gives us a reference. That's cool. Okay, so then we need to parse the kind. Let kind equal spawn kind. This is in the generator. Spawn point kind. There's a from string trait that I should probably use here. From stir kind name. And this returns a result. Cool. We're just gonna unwrap everything for now. At some point, I'm gonna search the code base for unwrap and panic, and I'm gonna come in and tidy all this up. Oh no, I got another follower. That's almost sad. I had 666 followers. It was very, very demonic, and someone has pushed that up to 667 as of yesterday. Only just noticed that. Damn. I was gonna say no one else is allowed to follow or unfollow, right? We've got to keep that at exactly 666, but that's okay. That's okay. Sorry, I'm just gonna have a drink of my tea. Okay, so we've got to implement this, but we're not going to do that right this second. Now that we have a challenge and a kind, let's go. This is a spawn point kind. So we have an. Where did this letter I come from? Get out of here. LDTK entity spawn enemy enum spawn. Spawn. See, all the others are just spawn, so this is gonna just be spawn. That's just more consistent. It's just better. Position, challenge as F32, and kind. And no semicolon because this is what that whole branch returns. Excellent. Okay. Entity. So I could map and collect here, but I won't. So we'll grab this as an entity and then we'll say hold on, has my hold on, my indenting's broken. That still looks wrong. I guess that's fine. Okay, that's just my brain that's wrong. I'm gonna go to big terminal soon. That will look a little better. Okay, so let e equal this, and we'll say out dot push e. And then if we don't find a layer, we just say none. You get nothing. Good day, sir. Now we just need to make this let out. Excellent. Okay, I think that's perfect. I think that's everything we need. And then if we don't know what the type of the entity is, we will say cool. It would be cool to rig this up to the system that I've got in all these files, where you can actually define a one-off entity. I don't think I do it in any of these files? I don't think I do it in any of these files, but you can actually define a one-off entity type and then spawn it. It would be cool to support that in LDTK. That would be kind of fun, but we won't do that right now. But that's another day's problem. Okay. What happens if I build this right now? It's gonna yell at me over a bunch of stuff. Of course it is, because it's Rust, and that's what Rust does. Spawn point kind, not found in the scope. We can deal with this. Use create mission spawn point kind. I suspect this isn't actually... No, it's exported. Use gen. Use spawn point kind. Let's be really explicit about where this comes from. I don't know. I'm not doing the best with managing where all these imports are coming and going, but that's okay. V not found in the scope. 82. V not found in the scope. Tiles. Because I called it the wrong thing. I renamed my vector and then I forgot. So let's just rebuild from here because it's pretty quick. Okay, I always put this extra I in entity. It's really strange. We need to include hash map. Use std collections hash map. Okay. What's the problem here? I'm guessing field instances. Oh, yep, that makes sense. Because I forgot to put the name of the thing that it's coming from. Hold on, okay. I think it's time to get the right terminal out. That's better. Hopefully people watching can actually see what's going on now. That was important for me, but it'll be okay. Cannot find E in this scope. E. That's because it's called out. Not E. PX WID. No PX WID on type LDTK level. Because I need to put this extra indirection in here. Expected I64 found. I don't know why I put that borrow there. That's kind of weird. I think I was doing this late last night, so the code quality goes down. The code quality definitely goes down the later it gets. Layer instance on JSON. Layer instance. It's layer instances, of course it is. It's a plural. This is that classic thing, layer instances. Layer instance type. And then this will make everything else make more sense, I'm sure. Layer instance type, no field, layer instance type, no field, layer instance. Okay, well let's work out what's going on here. Struct layer instance. Grid size identifier. Layer instance type. No? No? I mean, this looks exactly like the same name. Why does it not like this? Self layer instances. Layer dot. No field layer. Okay, so it's saying that this is a vec of layer instances, which is kind of weird. Which is kind of weird. Layer instances. Ah, yeah, it's an option. Okay, so if let sum layers equals self.0.layer instances, then we have to indent this whole thing. This whole thing. This whole thing. Unclosed delimiter, that's annoying. We'll work that out in a second. So, what? Where is this extra thing? That's really annoying. So if this is in layers, no layers in level. There's an unclosed delimiter here, right? Is there? No? Is that okay now? Okay. I'm having a really hard time perceiving... Oh, right, because it's the end of the thing. Sorry. I didn't realize I was at the end of the impl block. I was like, what's this extra curly bracket? That doesn't belong. That doesn't go here. Okay, that is actually correct. We're going to have to do the same thing here. If let sum layers equals self.0.layer instances. Okay, now we're cooking. 86, so I still have this problem because I forgot to change it. I probably forgot, nope. Okay, well that's nice, this is progress. We're dealing with this big complicated blob. Expected usize found I64, that's very easy to fix as usize. We're just going to continue to dumb cast things because why not? I think this is the problem. Oh no, it's an pixel I64. That's kind of cool. Expected string found stir. should be able to fix that nicely. Expected ref to string, found ref to stir. I thought this would make it compatible. I thought it would turn it into a stir. What can I say? Let ident. Can I do this? To make this accept it? Match. You still need the match there, funnily enough. Okay, that's good. Get borrow is implemented for string. I think that's actually what I want. I'm gonna have to put gloves on. It is so freaking cold today. My fingers are like seizing up. That sounds good though. Pound for reference. See, this is weird because why is it an option value if we unwrap first? Are we really returning an option of an option value? Because I thought we were undoing one of those layers. Oh, we're not undoing one of those layers because we're unwrapping the option, but then we were inserting the option anyway. Okay, that's better. That's better. That's cleaner. This is good. So here's this thing we haven't implemented yet. That's nice. LDTK. Okay, now. We have to panic here because otherwise we get unbalanced branches and we can't have that in a match arm. From stir, we need to implement from stir. Casting ref to a thing is invalid. That's good. So we can do with this, we just have to deref it before we cast it. Okay, and then we get into the deep stuff, the stuff that's really, really gonna have to get torn inside out. Yeah, okay. So we need to define spawn point kind from stir. Impl from stir for spawn point kind. What does this look like? The from stir trait. It's this. Give me an example. So match S. Anything else other than these two, then we give back an error. Beautiful. And then of course we need to use, is it std stir. We might need to import this trait in the other file as well, I think, because of how traits work. Yeah. Yeah, use. Excellent. So we've fixed all of our errors in this big, dumb LDTK handling file. And now we just need, so this is all pub struct, pub enum, pub, LDTK asset. Yeah, nice. So now, yeah, this is just loaded as one big dumb Big dumb asset. Asset mod, LDTK, LDTK asset. We do need to pub use LDTK asset, LDTK level. I think that's all we have to share from this. Asset level, and then this has all the cool methods that lets us do stuff. Yes. Oh, and LDTK entity. Because then we need to massage that into another type. Cool, cool, cool. All right. Oh, ignore my big dumb blob of file names. On desktop, you can just like load a folder and then recursively load everything in that folder. You can't do that in the web browser. So for WASM, we need a big dumb list. I'm gonna come up with something smarter than this at some point, but not today. Okay, so we load the LDTK asset. That is all good. Now, when we enter a level, things are about to change. Things are about to change a lot. Because previously we had to like actually do IO, we had to read a file from disk. Now everything's just, all of our levels are in memory all the time. I mean, for one thing, how big is this file actually? It's already 52K. So, I mean, you know, that's fine. That's fine. We can have like a couple of megs, and it's probably not gonna grow ridiculously fast. We can also minify it, because right now it isn't minified. I think that's actually a setting in LDTK, maybe. App settings? No, I want project settings. Export to tiled, PNG, minify JSON, yeah. True actually that it makes versioning worse, but we definitely care about export size at a certain point. So I don't know what this is. What have I got open here? Get out of here. Let's move everything into the correct window spaces. Okay, that feels a little nicer. That's a little more natural. That is a little more natural. So let's start digging into the room. Let's see how we load stuff. Okay, reload current room, blah, 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 blah. Update entities, update tile map. So update entities is going to be a big one. Because like maybe we want to reparse when we, ooh, that's interesting, isn't it? When we reload, so we're probably just going to have to like comment this out for now. Or maybe just kind of do nothing. Let's maybe make this not room asset, sorry. Asset rs mod. Yeah, LDTK assets. So when these assets are reloaded, and actually the tile map, it would be the tile map and the entities at the same time, right? Update levels. Okay, let's do this, and then let's get rid of this. This just becomes one function, but we probably should try and write it now because this is kind of important. Okay, so some levels. Some levels. It's all this stuff. It's all this stuff. How do we do it? How do we do it? But the tile stuff we definitely can do. Gets it as a tile map. the LDTK asset. We're just going to write this kind of shittily, and it might not perfectly work, but that's okay for now. Get a level room dot room current level name. That makes sense. If that is actually a valid level, if we can get the current level from this file, then we want to say level get tile map. And again, we want to do this like this. And we're going to have to actually do this when we first load the level as well. It'll look very, very similar. Yeah, we just set the tile map. So for x in 0 tiles dot a level dot width, get width. So for each coordinate, yy in 0, level get height for each place in the tile map. Oh, I think I forgot something else as well. Tile t as u8 plus 1. I think I want to add 1 here. I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense. Or maybe, no, let's add 1 here. Let's read that out in a very pure way. Okay, so we loop over everything. Now the index is going to be let's do it like this. The index is going to be yy times width plus x. So in other words, that classic thing, I've drawn it so many times, but like, you know, which row are we on? We multiply the row by the width, because actually in memory these are all laid out one after the other in a really long line. We decide what line we're on. It's kind of like, you know, the y is an index into that. It's great. It works really well. Let tile equal tiles get index unwrap, because if this fails, then we've done something wrong. And then all we need to do is say t asset tile map get tile map dot set tile map. Where's the tile map? Room dot default tile map. Yes, excellent. Room settings resource. Room. How do we do this up here? Oh, right, yeah, of course, because this has to actually do a query to get the tile map. That makes sense. We need to add this query. It would have been much better to write this up here, but I think it's kind of good. It's kind of good to rewrite it and just kind of do a sanity pass. Tile map dot set xxyy tile plus 1. Right? I think that's what we do. Because this, well, let's just load it like this and see what happens. But we do add 1 here, which is good. Okay. And then we have to set dirty. Once we're done. So if we find the level, then we set the tile map as dirty, and this triggers a tile map update. This triggers the tile map to kind of update all the tiles and update what renders, actually. If we don't do this, you're going to bonk invisible walls. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. So this looks good. We're going to delete this, I guess. It's out of here. It's gone. And it's simpler, right? We have this all in one place. It's going to be simpler. Now, spawn tile map. See, what would be interesting is if we could like trigger the update. Like it should probably be the same, because we're about to copy and paste a bunch of stuff essentially. Okay. So what? See, this is going to be simpler as well. This is going to be big, but this is going to be simpler. Well, actually, no, this is much simpler. Asset. Asset mod rs. It's going to be the level definition file. Okay, so if we haven't and now we only have one loader. If room loader.loaded return. Again, we're gonna do this simpler. We're gonna try and refactor a thing that's been kind of gross and bugging me for a while. This is big refactoring. This is huge. This is huge. Okay, so I need to keep an eye on the time as well because I do have a singing lesson today. Let me not get too distracted right now because this is important. Okay, so we need to do the tiles. We're gonna room tiles, tile map new. Okay, yeah, so we do this. T. And we do this flip Y, which is really interesting. So let's copy and paste this and then clean it up as we go. This all needs to come in one layer. Okay, so this is important. We need to get this T again. So we're gonna do the same thing. If let sum level equals levels get level room dot current level. What did I call it? I called it room dot. What did I call it? What did I call it? Room current level name. That makes sense. That it does what it says on the tin. Okay, so if we can get the level, then we need to if let sum tiles is level get tile map. Move all that across. Now we make, so tiles are the tiles that comes from level file. Room tiles are the tiles that actually exist in the room. It's a bit of a weird name. Tiles y times tiles get width plus x y plus x tiles get index let's actually do the same thing down here. I think this is kind of important rather than unwrapping, right? Also levels tiles.get index That's probably just nicer all around. Invalid map read tiles. So this now needs to be level dot, every time it's level get width, level get height, level get width. Cool. Okay. Beautiful. And then this is the same. This is all just the same. ID room loaded. Yeah, okay, no, let's we keep trying maybe. But then it'll keep spawning stuff. Screw it. Let's just do this. So if we can get the current room. Okay, so we've got a level. If let some entities level get entity. Again, I think this is just called get entities. If we have a list of entities, this is more complicated. This is a lot more complicated. For E in entities. So for every entity, we're gonna build 3 lists. If the entity is LDTK entity, so what are our entities? Our entities are player. We're just going to copy paste this because I think that makes things a little easier. Let's make a little macro that's gonna LDTK entity. That's gonna make that easier. Nice. We're gonna bind these to variables instead of type names. And then we're gonna have to do different things based on this. Okay, so we've got these different entity types. Now, if we go into our stage generator, we have this in between, right? Map generated data. CSV name, we can actually get rid of. This is a lot of this is going to get cleaned up, which is really exciting, which is really, really exciting. Spawns, backup spawns, spikes. I forgot that spikes should have a challenge scale as well. For now, we'll just set this to a default. We'll set this to like 0 and then they'll always spawn. Grim Shadow, welcome, thank you, thank you. Sorry, I got really in the zone there. I should actually show off the game at some point, but I'm too far in the refactor. It'll come around, it'll come around. I'm trying to remember to start every stream by showing what I currently have, but because I started this stream halfway through a refactor, it's just kind of like a nightmare. It's a bit of like a hellscape. But yeah, I do have some cool streams planned. I got in contact with some people that used to work at the bank with me yesterday. And they're doing some cool stuff that I want to show off on stream. Like they're building a programming language. So I've got some cool ideas for stuff in the future. I've got some fun streams coming up, but it's all chaos. There's a lot going on. I had to go away for a week and a bit. I should probably let my parents know that I'm staying. I think they know I'm coming to stay with them. I don't know if they know I'm staying with them for a whole week. Should probably let them know. Okay, so we're gonna build one of these bad boys. We're gonna build a map generator data. And we're gonna make it mutable, I guess. So and we'll make the default version of this where everything's empty, which is great. Okay, so if we have a player spawn, we're gonna say gen dot player start points dot push the position. Beautiful. If we have an enemy spawn, we're going to say gen dot spawns dot push. We're going to push a spawn point, and a point just has a position, a challenge scale, and a kind. So the data that we have, spawn point new pos.y challenge kind. Beautiful. If it's a stage exit, then we're going to say gen dot exit point, maybe exit points push pos. If it's an orb spawn, we're going to put this, we don't have anywhere to put this. We're going to throw this on the floor for now. And if it's spike strip, we're going to put it in our list of spikes. I don't know where that to-do went. Gen.spikes push Cool. Okay, so now we have a map generator. We have to make an instance of it. So we say let map instance gen.instance. This takes a challenge, which right now I'm hard coding at 0.2, and we also need rand thread RNG. Now, oh, that needs to be in a mutable box too. I feel like this is somehow wrong, and I feel like some poor viewer out there who knows more about Rust than I do is having a fit at me writing it like this. If you know a better way to write this, please let me know, because I'm trying to learn Rust, but also learning while talking and on the go and stuff. Like, you know, I know I'm doing some janky stuff and not always best practices, but I am always happy to receive feedback to lift myself up, to become a better programmer. Because like, it's really hard to Google for the right way to do this, you know. Lots of stuff in coding I know how to Google, but in Rust, sometimes you just need to have a conversation with a human and be like, okay, I'm trying to achieve X. How do I do this? So now we have a map instance, and a map instance is like a map generator, but it actually has more concrete stuff. So now from a map instance, and I think I already do this, right? No? Yeah, generator. Okay, so now this is what I do here. Camera bounds is kind of interesting as well. I need to probably do this too. Camera bounds will ignore as well. Will I? Or won't I? Camera bounds. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Oh, it would be really nice. It would be really nice to load camera bounds from these levels. Okay, we'll leave that on the floor for now. Don't get too carried away. Don't get too attached to it. But instance. Okay, so then we're gonna do this. Am I get into script run? So we're just gonna cut and paste this right in here. So we have a map instance for everything. Yeah, so we make a map instance then for, let's just call it mi because that's what we were calling it before. We need to go in, I don't know what's going on with the indentation. We've kind of balked it. Okay, so what is this closing? This is closing the big loop. And then this is closing this, and then this is closing the function. Awesome. I love when copy and pasting actually kind of works out. And then we'll come down to the bottom and we'll say that this that it loaded. It did it. Awesome. And we'll try. If this for some reason isn't loaded, we'll just keep trying. We'll just keep spinning. Excellent. Okay, so now we need to clean up all the other shit. This should load everything from an LDTK file. I don't see why not. It's a little bit shittier, but and this should be fine, right? Oh no, this is a system, so this needs the closing thing. Okay, so let's format real quick. What is expected? Oh, room loaded equals true. I really need to bind this to a key. Nice. Okay, so we'll build this bad boy. There is, of course, some LDTK level. This is, I think, just called level. Okay, see, it's kind of hard because I want this type to be very clear, but I've just called the type level. LDTK assets. Yes, now this is better because now it's just LDTK asset. These other asset types, they're just gone. They're just gone. We need to import this. This is what I want. So, because I can't just have a type called level, that would be kind of weird. That wouldn't really work well. So we need to namespace that more aggressively. LDTK assets, we still don't have, it needs to be called other word that starts with L, LDTK assets. Okay, we've got a lot of errors. Not found in this scope because level.getWidth and level.getHeight. What's next? Spawn point.new. Spawn point. Where does spawn point come from? Spawn point comes from mission. Okay, we're gonna have a bit of like a scatter shot. There's gonna be a lot of. It must be from gen. Or is this just not something? Pubmod gen. Yep. Okay. Cool. Spike strip is going to be the same story. Gen. What's next? Stray character. I always hate that. Okay, cannot find X in the scope because it's XX and this is YY. And actually we can simplify this even more and just put them in the brackets now that I've learned that that's an option. I'm sure a lot of people were getting really angry with me for not doing that for a while. Commands not found in the scope. Interesting. Unused import level. I guess we don't really use level actually, hey. It's just kind of like a detail. This pattern. Yeah, so room load type is kind of gone, right? Room load type is gone. It's interesting. It's kind of like we can get rid of a whole in-between thing. Which is kind of cool. Room load. Let's look at this room loader resource. Let's just call this loaded. Level name is name.toOwned and self.set unloaded. Right, so when we load a new level, we want to say that we're currently not loaded, which is good. Default tile map is important. Tagged entities are important. Entity data is not important. We're not loading entities like that anymore. This is also no longer relevant. Interesting. Keys is good, and then we also need a current level name, which is a string. Okay, room settings resource, get key, set key, this is all fine. Room spawn tile map, adds an update, reload current room, room update level. I think that's what I called it. And like, honestly, why is this just not in here? Room update level. Oh, because it only runs in dev mode. Yeah, that makes sense. That's why it's split up. Okay, that's good, that's good. Load room. Now, when we load a room, what do we do? What do we do? Load room. Okay. No, that's all good. Yeah, when we enter the loading state, we say that we're unloaded, and then all we're gonna do now is set the camera bounds and room settings dot current level name is gonna be room load dot what is it? Room load. So what did I call it? Current level name. That's good. Room level name dot to string. Okay, so if I build this, we're still going to have a bunch of errors, but it's going to be different. Tilemap.setDirty. Tile map. That is at the wrong indentation level. What else have we got? Unused import, tilemap resource. Yes, excellent. That whole resource can just go in the bin. Load generated. No method named load generated. Room.load generated. Yeah. Okay. That's fine, that's fine. Because... well, all this is going to be different. All this is going to be different. Mission.rs. It's all going to be different. Get stage CSV. Let's maybe say get stage level name. Okay, so stage, then we need to say stage, mission stage, level name, string. That sounds good. Add stage has an objective, and it's just going to have a level, which is a reference to a string. Level name, level. Now, let's go back to LDTK and see what these levels are actually called. I suspect they're just called level 0 and level 1. So let's maybe go level 0. Level 0. Level 1. Okay, let's make it kills 5. Now interestingly, we probably should 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12, but none of these are going to spawn yet, but that's okay. Kills 8 and survive. Okay, so we're just going to make a random mission set. Survive. It's not called survive, it's called survive. Stay alive seconds. Excellent. Okay, now all this stuff is gonna come out. So room dot Get stage level name. There we go. That's what we want. That's what we want. All right, it's happening. It's coming together. It's coming together. Mission get level name. Okay, what's happening? What's next? What's next? We're chewing through a lot of errors. Get level. Get. What did I call this? Hold on. Get stage. Gosh, what a bad name. Level definition file is private. Asset mod.rs. Level definition file. This just needs to be pub. Of course, there's still a lot. Current level name. Expected stir found string. That is easy to fix. Tile map. New. What is the problem? Get width, get height. Expected usize. Why does it give back width and height as potentially negative numbers? It doesn't really make sense, does it? Index cannot be indexed by I64. This is good. This is good. Expected usize. Found I64. Funny that, isn't it? Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. Level get width as usize. I'm going to do this up front, and then we're not going to have to sprinkle this through everywhere. So, width, height. Look at this. Look at this. Width, height. Magic. Or not. Unnecessary parentheses. Beautiful. Okay, so we can go down and do this again down here, and I think I actually do it a little bit smarter as usize. Get height. Okay, beautiful, beautiful. No more unnecessary casting. I hate it. It's kind of ugly. Y times W. It's coming together. Any second now this is going to work. Spike strip does not have this field. Now I tend to disagree, or challenge scale, I think it's actually called. Room, what's the problem here? Get level. Oh yeah, that's just this again. I thought I already fixed that, and it's because I had. Tiles, get height. It's just the height. That's all good. This is different. Loaded equals false, I guess. No more items. Wow, we're getting close. We're getting really close. Of course, there's more once you fix that batch. Cannot move. You just have to ref. Okay, It's happening. It's happening. Layer grid tiles move due to implicit call. Dot iter. We want the iter. Oh, I guess we can also do this. Unused variable pods. We're getting, this is so close to the end. This has been such a huge refactor, such a huge change. Fee value, it's just borrowing, right? I said this was gonna be a compiler issue when we got around to it. We need to copy the string. Awesome. Unused field, warning methods are unused, that's all good. Hash is never used. So things have just gotten a lot simpler, right? Warning, error. Position of this struct is private. This one is important. Spike, strip. Because this is just plain data, we're just, it's a struct, it has no behavior, we're just going to make everything public. Okay, this is going to build now. It's going to build and it's going to run, and when we run it, it's almost certainly going to panic. Nice, okay. We're almost certainly going to panic, and of course we do. Not enough spawns in the map. That's kind of a problem. Okay, look, I'm just going to get rid of that check for now. I'm just not going to panic when that happens. Not enough spawns. So basically, it tries to put a certain number of spawns in the map, and if it fails, right now it panics. Whoa. Okay, tile map room. I'm going to try something. Tile map set. Let's get rid of v+1. let's just try doing this. Let's just see. I suspect that might be the problem. Oh. That was an unexpected side effect of not adding to that number, is that it stayed a reference rather than a thingo. Okay, so interesting. Very interesting. It seems we have to decide between the world being covered in shit or completely empty. And that, I'm afraid, might be where we have to leave it today, on that very unfortunate cliffhanger. Well, that obviously doesn't do anything. Fascinating. Very fascinating. Let's go back to just debugging every time we put a tile down. I am really curious about what's going on here. Time map set. Whoa. Oh, I remember. I realize what's happened. I think. 500? So the width and the height are wrong, right? They're in pixels, not in... Is it? Is that what's happening? LD... I know I said I was going to leave it there, but I just kind of can't. Pixel width, yeah. So we have to divide this by 16, divide by 16, and then get width. And then when we get the tile map, we do divide these by 16, so that should be okay. Let's see what happens. set everything to 0. Does anything get set to 1? Anything? Anything at all? Nothing. It looks like it's the correct dimension, so that's good. 15 by like 20 something. Yeah. Why are they all 0? Well, let's look at the underlying file, I guess, right? Levels.ldtk. Tile sets, level 0, grid tiles. That's the wrong layer. These are my entities, and then we have tiles. At the pixel tile 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 20. I wonder why that's 20. I wonder how that happens. 0 0 0 0 0 0 0 1. Let's say some ones. 0 0 0 0 1 1 1 0 0 0 20. Okay, so let's do something different. Let's go back to room mod set. When we set this, let's say let vv equals if v not equal to 0, then we'll say 1, otherwise 0. vv. And let's just try this for now. Let's just try this. And still nothing. Okay, well, what if we try the other level? What if we try the other level first? Level 1. What if we try this level first? Still all zeros. So it looks like something's gone wrong in the parsing. Get tile map. If tile is it getting trimmed somehow due to, oops, what happened here? Oops. Tile value as U8, that makes more sense. I know I said I was leaving this alone, but I found non-zero tile, 1. But then when we look at 13.7, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.7. Okay. Let's just make sure our indexes line up. Indexes? Tiles.insert some tiles. Let's just put this closer to where it's supposed to live, because I think that looks a little better. That works. I mean, there's more that we're missing here. I can see there's more that's gone wrong. This must be riveting. He's scrolling. Ah, okay. That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem right because the width here... Ah, yes. That would be it. That would be it. We're not dividing the width and the height by 16. So now we should be able to see more correct. I would hope, maybe. Oh my gosh, so much scrolling. Gonna get RSI of the finger for scrolling too much. 500, this sounds more reasonable, right? Except the width is only like 20, so that still seems kind of wrong. Still seems kind of wrong. Width, self, level get width divided by 16. Let's do another debug. Okay, and then let's also just double check when we do our index calculation here, that's divided by 16. See, it just feels kind of correct, right? 27 times 20. Actually, maybe that was right. Let me do the math myself, right? Wouldn't that make a lot of sense? Let's go. Let's just scroll up a little so that we can just scroll down. Okay, so 13.7. Python 7 times. Well, where's the 16? Yeah, so this should be 125 and it's 251, which strikes me as being like 2 times bigger than it should be. God, I know I said I was gonna go. I've got the bug. I kind of need to know what's going. Oh, wait, we've got stuff. We've got something. What's this? Oh, this is part of the level. This is part of the level. Okay. So oh, do you know what it is? I actually need to increment this tile value. I need to increment it here, because otherwise we can't discern between the default value and 0. There we go. That is better. No wonder. No wonder. Okay, well, we're loading tile maps from LDTK, and that's kind of awesome. We should actually theoretically be able to reload them already. I don't know if that exit is in the right spot, though. LDTK, let's look at level 2. Yeah, okay, so the exit... Oh, because this is bottom to top, but my... this is like Y0, I think. Yeah, so their 0y is up here, my 0y is down here, so I need to somehow deal with this. And that's kind of funny that the player start actually kind of perfectly moves to up here. Okay, so let's try the other level. Let's go back to our menu. We will at some point deal with this better. Let's get my controller out. Yeah, nice. Now, have any enemy spawners actually been placed? No. Also, we need some way of doing camera bounds, which would be really cool. Okay. So let's try the moment of truth that I haven't really put much thought into, but what if I go into this level? What if I extend the tile map a little? Right, so what if I do this? Oh, hold on, I need to run it in features dev. It only reloads in dev mode. And this exposes a very funny previously yet unseen issue, which is that room update. Oh, it's always the plural, right? Room update levels. And also in menu, there was something map. Was it in menu? Yeah, RS, map name. Okay, let's see if we can hot reload levels while we're in them. Really got to clean up these menus at some point. Okay, so let's see what we can do. Oh, that's really cool. Can I side by side this? Hold on, that needs to go here. Over here. Yeah, okay, you can kind of see it happen in real time. This is very jank. Oops. That's really cool. Okay, well this is better than what I was doing before anyway, so that's kind of awesome. Now, I just need to fix enemy spawners and stuff, but that shouldn't be too hard. They were working. I just need to make sure the coordinate system is also sensible. So, you know, kind of subtract the entity position from the height, because my y goes up, positive y goes up, their positive y goes down. Awesome, awesome, that's it. That's it, it works. I can load these levels, and that's gonna make content authoring a lot easier. So look, did I finish it? No. Did I make a hell of a good job at it? Yes. So we're gonna put a cross there because I didn't do it, but I'm gonna give myself like a very small green tick, like a really, really small one, because I kind of did it, right? So like this is the official grade, but just for my sake, I've got a nice little check. Anyway, that has been a journey and a half, man. But it's exciting. It's coming together. Once I have that, I'll be able to just make a crap load of levels that will be randomly loaded. It'll feel good. It'll start to be more of a game that I can hopefully publish and people can play. I'm gonna clean up all the old Jinx shit, and then I will put the code up on GitHub so people can play around with it. Hopefully there's some interest in seeing how all these parts come together, even if I don't really know what I'm doing. Thank you very much for tuning in. I'm Tom, and I will catch you next time.